Welcome, I'm Crystalgate. I'm playing From Glory to Go. And this is the final chapter of this Swarm saga. Let's go with the anvil. The rifle damage would have been far more useful before. Like if I had gotten it early. Now it's almost outdated. The melee units... Well, no, it's the melee unit damage is almost useless if you have exploding enemies on, because generally speaking can't use melee with exploding enemies. None of what I'm getting here is really useful, but whatever. I pretty much already have what I need, so no problem. I have already secured most resources I need. What's left is getting more isotopes, so that's what I will dedicate the beginning to. I am also going to need more crystal income, because I'm going to need a lot for building walls.
We're under attack.
The defense around the base that I built so far aren't really up to the task for future waves, because this is the point where I'm starting to get waves from a lot of direction at the same time.
We're under attack.
I will also need to get flops where I can. Although there is a source of flops that I'm completely missing here that I should have exploited. And that is to put those mini data centers that only gives a little bit flops.
We're under attack.
Okay, I thought that you only get 6 swarms unless you pick the perk that gives you 1 extra maximum swarms, but it turns out at the 10th level they will give you 1 extra, despite the fact that it's otherwise the odd level ups that gives you an extra swarm.
We're under attack. We're under attack. Certainly. We're under attack. We're under attack. We're under attack.
I have gotten my isotope in comma up a bit, but there's more patches for me to get. This here is why I wanted a lot of crystals, so I can build all those walls without needing to pump too much effort into converting them to crystals.
We're under attack.
I have pretty much claimed what I needed to claim. At this point, I'm just going to look for opportunities to get more flops. Although again, surrounding a lot of the compact reactor with small data centers would have been one way. Although most of the compact reactors are on hot hours though, so I will say it is absolutely time to wall up the base like that. The solution I used before was sufficient up until now, but I am reaching the point where I need to have the base far better secured than I do right now. Okay, I'm using my outdated clearing force to guard one of the entrances where I think that the wave will hit. We're going to take a look at that later.
Will do. I'm here to serve.
I say this is where the robots really excel. I can continue building units after units and they will never bring my effort income into the negatives. Had I played humans, then, well, what I would have done is to more aggressively clear the ship and start to build manufacturing bases in them in a way to keep my income, well, positive. Well, I eventually going to have a negative, but or you can't as a human ever have more than less than zero effort income. Oh yeah, this is where I'm defending with my clearing army. And that place got hit pretty hard. That's this one problem. The Mesha Tyrantis are just so much more powerful than most other things, and same thing goes with the Rainmaker.
Listen, friend.
That said, I think one problem with the clearing army is reach. A lot of them can't really shoot properly because they don't have the reach. The Mesha Tyrantis can be put on top of the walls, and the Rainmaker, well, they absolutely do have great reach. The tanks and the Grenadiroids, and especially the IFVs with sparklocks, often don't get to shoot the enemies until they start breaching walls and gets closer. Still, it's obvious just how outdated the standard army eventually becomes. Even if I play the automaton, it will eventually become far more about Mesha Tyrantis and Rainmakers than my infantry. I'm speeding the game up now because really the only thing I'm doing until the waves comes is to convert resources into ore and build either Rainmakers or Mesha Tyrantis, whatever I can afford.
I'm here to serve, certainly. Affirmative. I'm here to serve. Certainly. Will do. I have made this. I'm here to serve. I'm here to serve. I was made for this. Will do. I was made for this. Can do. Certainly. Certainly. I'm here to serve. I was made for this. Can do. I'm here to serve. I was made for this.
So, that's the second last wave.
Can do. Affirmative. Certainly. Certainly. I'm here to serve. Affirmative. Affirmative. I'm here to serve.
I need flak cannon solely because the units I'm using don't really have anti-air. The mesh at Tarantis used to be able to shoot down air, but that was removed. In fact, there was then a general purge of anti-air where a lot of units that could once shoot down anti-air suddenly no longer could.
I was made for this.
So, that was the second wave. Or well, late wave. But what I do need now is to prepare for the last wave, which will have the Gnasher. I'm putting out more teleporter because I want to have better maneuverability for final wave in case a breach happens. Want an easier time to respond. And if needed also the ability to respond to the Gnasher quickly. Funny note here, I haven't actually fought the Gnasher before. It has always been the brain or the sludge when I played operations.
Will do. Certainly. Can do. Affirmative. I'm here to serve. I'm here to serve. Affirmative. I was made for this. I'm here to serve.
My effort income right now is more than 3,000 when we account for upkeep. If I had been played humans, I would probably have been well into the negatives right now.
Affirmative. I'm here to serve. Affirmative. I was made for this. Affirmative. Affirmative. I was made for this. Certainly. Can do. Certainly. Can do. Can do. Can do. Will do. Certainly. Certainly. Can do. I'm here to serve. Affirmative. I'm here to serve. Will do. I'm here to serve. Affirmative.
Okay, plan. I want to man every place where the enemies are going to attack, but I also want to leave a response force left in the middle. And then having some that will go to wherever the Gnasher shows up. And then also have one to respond in case there's a breach. Mesha Terratis and Rainmakers can typically just meet the waves and just face them. At least they can if the force has been somewhat thinned out by the walls. Though sufficient numbers will be able to just handle the waves head on. That's probably not a good idea if you start to encounter the Gnasher, though. I don't think you putting your own forces in the way of the Gnasher is a good idea, but as I 6 Mechatrantis and Rainmakers are going to be able to handle destroyers good enough. Okay, this is it, and I got the Gnasher in the south corner. Yeah, the Gnasher is not really going to be a problem. It has over 100 attacks, so it kills every unit in 1 or 2 hits. That said, something went wrong here, so I do have a breach somewhere, and I did a poor job of making redundant power. This is where the response force enters the picture. That said, I probably should have tried to just get a few Mechatrantis to my main base and surrounded it. Because in the event of a breach, as soon as you get the Mechatrantis to the main base, it suddenly becomes much less scary. You don't lose the game until the main base is destroyed. And yeah, there it is.